Hello Buzzcocks, my name is Halsey and welcome back to Factorio Spaceport here on Nauvis. And I'm just wondering, why is it always dark when I start recording something? So that question aside, last time we built some factories. We added another one for blue circuits. Doing nicely. We added one for low density structures up here, where we're still missing plastics. We'll come to that. And what was the third thing that we added? We added yet another thing that we needed. Yeah. Rocket fuel production here. Also, well, train is full, but nowhere to go. And here we are lacking the light oil, and that's basically because here in our oil processing setup we lacked a bit of input material, so the output of light oil and petroleum was not as high as I wished it was. That's why we have lack of plastic. What I did in the meantime was hook up another field here, so we just can push forward with the production. And then there is another field down here for which we have the train station, but the field itself is not yet hooked up. And I think that's the first thing that we need to do in order to be able to make any meaningful progress there. So hopefully this will be sufficient. I will hook up that field, and then we can turn our attention to the main part of today's episode, which is actually putting in a spaceport. And over the series of this playthrough of Space Age, which will be spread over 3 series. The first one here on Nauvis. Well, I think we are more than halfway through, but not to worry, there is more to come. And we will need more than one spaceport. Unfortunately, we only can have one receiving station where we collect everything that we get from out of space. So that could be a challenge, but we don't need to worry about that today. But let me add this oil field here and hook it up, and that should help us with the immediate issues for our oil production. Thanks to our efforts a while back with regards to concrete, we now have a rocket silo that we need for our main purpose. And if we look at what else we have, here is a cargo landing pad that's basically for receiving goods from spaceships back down to the surface, and that will be a whole different setup. So for now we have the space platform foundation and the starter pack, and the spaceport that I want to build is basically the rocket silo and everything we need to build actual spaceships. So we will need to construct the foundation parts and the starter packs, and as we do that, we receive or we unhook more stuff. So we will make progress, and as we go along, we will unlock more things that we will have to build on site in order to get to a functioning space platform that we can have. And the first one, of course, will be in the Nauvis orbit, so we can produce the space science that we actually need. And as for where we place it, I think we will have it down here, and then we also have to think about where we want to have our spaceport. We could have it up here. And for the spaceport, the receiving end, there we have to make some considerations, because over the run of this playthrough, we will get or receive all sort of materials at that port, maybe in low quantities. So we'll have to figure out how to deal with that. But then there are certain things that we get in higher quantities, like the space science, and for that we certainly can have dedicated trains. But I think the setup we want to have here is similar to what we have here, where we have a lot of stations that deliver the material, and I think this setup will be sufficient for the rocket silo to create the space platform. And for the receiving end, maybe we need even more train stations, but there we should not have the problem that we also need to produce anything on site. So basically it could be a whole hexagon full of train stations, and in there somewhere is the receiving port of the spaceport. But let me add the stations first, and then we will see where we place the actual rocket silo. We have some stations placed in for steel, copper, the processing units, rocket fuel, and low density structures. For the last two, we actually need to set up the train. This one wants to go from here not a temporary station, to there, full cargo, empty cargo, time passed, 2 minutes, or interrupt. And now that one goes loading, and then we have this one here going from there to here. empty cargo. Past or interrupt this one. Looks like I did not rename this station properly. This is rocket fuel pickup with an icon. Oh, and it looks like this train is placed the wrong way. So I will have to fix that, but first let's take that rocket silo and we will add it here. We will have this going on there, and this should produce the rocket parts. And then we need production for, we will try to add things down here. Displays a space platform, and there we also need the wires. That goes so, and eventually we will have this managed with logistic robots. But for now, I think we will just add a bit of copper and a bit of steel into those chests, and that should mean that we are producing actually here we can have the proper setups, and we also need factory for the space platform. Well, let's do this here. Because there we need this, but we also need steel, and we need blue circuits. So once those get delivered, okay, and here we probably want to limit to 1. Let's add a limit here as well. We just have 2 machines because if we need it, we probably want to produce it a bit faster. Automatic requests. Yes. So let me fix the train, and then hopefully soon we can see our rocket being built, and we can move on with adding more pieces to our facility here, because this will be unlocked once we place starter platform, and that means we get the asteroid collector, the crusher, and the cargo bay that we also need to produce here on site. While we're still waiting for more parts that we need for our rocket, I have put in a second station line, and this works out quite nicely, especially as I decided that for the most part we will use logistics to move things around in here, so we can build the stations a bit compactor, and we have an outline here that's parallel. And I also started on working with the production for the materials that we need for everything else that we probably need to produce here. Probably the last thing down there are then these ones. And even for that we should then have everything on site with batteries, solar panels. What we are still missing is the accumulators. That's what we need the factories, the batteries for, and we just can squeeze that in. Yeah, let's add another one of these here. Power. Then here we need batteries and iron plates. So to kick things off, I will just have to move things manually, but as soon as we then get the first space science, we can research the logistic systems, which gives us a request chest, and from there on everything becomes easy. By now we should have everything that we need for our space platform. We have one space platform starter pack in here, so if I say build me a platform, build me a platform, then I have to name it. And this one will be Nauvis Space Science Production. Nice. Requested. And off it goes. So the rocket silo actually functions as a requester chest, even though we don't have requester chests already. So maybe if requester chests would not be the first thing we want to research once we have the technologies. There you can see we just unlocked this, and this means we now can also add the production facilities that we need here. for the remaining things. Crushes. Let me try something here. This is a steel chest anyway. But if I say I cannot define manually define what to request here, so it will be this for now, with manually filling in the chests, but within the next episode we should build up our space platform so it actually produces the signs, and we should have everything to go on. We only need, well, we need to unlock this. For this we need to build an asteroid collector, and then we can do this research, and we need 150 of those. We also need some processing units. So let's add all this. Okay, let's do half here, half there. And then where do we need the motors? There, and then we need steel. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Two. And the last one can go in here as well. We probably don't need too many of them. So let's limit this to 1 stack, and okay, build does not necessarily mean build in an assembly machine, but place it actually. And this will be a project for next time, when we build up our space platform for space science, produce the space science, bring it back down, see how we collect and distribute things, and then we can unlock the research for logistics. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.